we've got a lot of projects going on in Indiantown. It's been a while. I haven't spoken to you in,
Oh, I know.
oh, I was running, right?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. So since then, a lot has happened, and things are finally breaking. I actually I drive around, I look around, and I say, "Well, this is real. It's really going to happen. It's happening."
Yes. Yes.
Being out here so long and watching it go up and down for years. But we've got, Terralago, they're going full steam ahead, and there's houses coming up there every day. I mean, drive by there every day and there's a different house going up, and rooftops are being built. And Palm Oak is the same thing. I mean, I drive by that every day because I live out here at the marina. But so it's my on my way in and out of here, and it's amazing how quick all this stuff is happening.
It is happening. This morning we're talking with Mayor DiPaolo from Indiantown, of course. And Carmine, really appreciate you taking time here today to really share all the great things that are happening in Indiantown because as you were just sharing with us, a lot of things are starting to happen quickly and we're seeing the face of Indiantown change, almost in the blink of an eye. It's very exciting, long time coming, but this is why the village incorporated. And there's a lot of great things that I don't think people realize are happening out there. So you just mentioned Terralago and the other, what did you call the other development right by you?
Palm Oak, Palm Oak. Yeah.
Palm Oak. So that's just a couple of them. So let's kind of go through. We'll start on the residential side. How many homes are going in Indiantown right now that's approved?
Well, what's in the pipeline right now is about 3,000 homes that are between Terralago, Palm Oak, and they're going to be starting their phase two here pretty soon. Um, and then we get we got Gino and his crew building in Booker Park, and um, they're looking at doing stuff uptown now. We just approved their plot plan for. I can't tell you what the project's going to be called. It slips my memory, but it borders Terralago. I mean, it's going to be a different community, but it's right there at Terralago. It's right next door.
Well, it's exciting because you're bringing in housing, but also great jobs and great companies that are coming in. I was surprised.
Absolutely.
I was surprised going through the industrial park, all the different lots already that are going to be built out. They're projected to be businesses or they're already open and running. So you had one project out there that I think is coming close to coming to fruition, Cedron.
Cedron, yeah, Cedron is coming. Um, they're getting their permitting and from the state and getting their contracts in place with different municipalities across Southeast Florida, and that's a really exciting program. And I think it's great for Indiantown, but I think the whole program in whole is great for Florida and beyond, because as you may know, the solid waste at the end of the day, there's bad chemicals in it, PFOBs, they
Right.
call them. And what Cedron's going to be doing is they're going to be basically taking the PFOBs out of they're going to be burning it and producing electricity with it. So I know they're working with FP&L to get all that paperwork and all those permits lined up.
It's cutting edge
Um,
technology, isn't it? It's cutting
it's
edge technology.
cutting edge technology, and it's just unbelievable. I've been out to Washington State, their home base, and Cedron is part of spinoff of Janicki Industries, and Janicki Industries is a aerospace contractor. They build drones and other things for the federal government.
Mm,
Yeah. So, and Peter Janicki, the principal that owns Janicki Industries, he's just a great guy. He's a great guy to partner with. Um, when I was there, I got to know him, for short as that was, but spending 30 years in law enforcement, I can pretty much tell a person's character pretty quickly,
right,
you
right,
know.
right.
And he's the kind of guy that I would want to partner with. I mean, he's just solid, and the company is solid, and his son's doing a great job. Um, So I'm excited about them coming, and hopefully they'll be breaking ground here soon with the next few months.
That's fantastic. That project, I remember I was sitting in the audience when they presented early on. I happened to be there that night for some reason, and it was very exciting. Cedron Technologies, what they have, and congratulations to you for bringing that to Indiantown because I think that's a
Yeah, I
huge
mean,
win.
I mean, it's about the environment, you know.
Yes.
And I could see the day that Florida will mandate solid waste being handled in the way that they're going to be handling it. So,
Well, there's a lot of pushback now for it because it gets spread on fields. The bio waste, north of Martin County. I know talking about runoff into the water and stuff. So this technology is needed and wanted, and will help eliminate some of these pollution,
yeah, if we can get
issues.
rid of all that bad stuff and get it out of there and not pollute our environment, then I
Win,
mean, it's a no-brainer.
win, win, win. Let's
Win,
talk
win,
about a
win.
few of the other projects here in Indiantown because there's a lot going on, and I'll just go through some of them. You have Yellow Pine Trust Company and P3 Technologies. Those are projects that looks like they're under review right now to come to Indiantown.
Yeah, the juice plant, once the juice plant shut down, and that's the reason why cogen is gone. Okay, so when the juice plant, then we had cogen sitting behind the juice plant, and cogen was there because they was not because to make electricity and sell electricity to FPNL. The byproduct was the electricity that they were selling back to FPNL. The reason why it was there is they were providing steam to the juice plant
Okay.
to process the citrus. Once all the citrus died all around Martin County and basically the Treasure Coast in South Florida, um, there was no need for that juice plant anymore. Once the juice plant went away, FPNL bought cogen and that's gone. The good news is that they're repurposing that site and it's going to be a storage battery electric storage facility for batteries from their solar fields.
Okay.
So with that in Cedron, Indiantown's going to be able to produce more power. We have a lot of things coming industrial wise. As you mentioned, Venture Park. Venture Park is sold out. And they're employing the people that are going to be using these, that are going to be buying and renting these rooftops, you
Right.
know. So, for me, it's a I've always, from day one, I've always had a vision. And, the big problem with Indiantown is that 84%, 85% of our tax revenue comes from FP&L. So all it's going to take is one major hurricane. And already this year, FP&L had to move some equipment around, which caused us a loss of about $190,000.
It's a lot.
So I've always had that in the back of my mind that all it's going to take is one major hurricane. We've been lucky, knock on wood, the last several years. Tragically, we had the tornadoes, but the tornadoes, even though they produced a lot of damage in the areas that they struck, it wasn't widespread as a hurricane would be.
Right.
So there wasn't a need to replace a bunch of equipment. But that's all it's going to take is one major hurricane on the Treasure Coast or anywhere in Florida because they have equipment here stored in Indiantown that, they'll be using all over the state.
Right.
So I've always had that in mind and always try to find different revenue streams that so we can wean ourselves off of the need. It's nice to have 100%. It'd be nice to be able to take 50% of that 100% and put it in slush fund,
Right. Right.
you know?
Absolutely.
So it would be nice if we could, and it will. It's going to happen. I can see it. I can
Yes.
see it happening. What's holding us back is the water, but we're working on that.
Your
And
water
hopefully,
plant. Mhm.
hopefully we'll get our grant. Knock on wood. I pray every day for it. let that money come so we can get our water plant done. And not just for the growth, but for the people who are already here too,
Right.
you know, to improve the quality of water.
Mayor, did
Um,
you have a grant application in this round in Tallahassee that you're waiting
yeah,
on? Or okay,
yes, yeah. I was in. We went to Tallahassee. The Taryn Crisdo, the village manager, and I um, went to Tallahassee and went to the legislature and met everybody and told them our story. And I was going to, the delegate meetings across the Treasure Coast. I went to Okeechobee, and people wonder what's the guy from Indiantown doing in Okeechobee. I'm gonna go wherever I can and stand before whoever I need to state our case.
right.
So I went to Okeechobee, we went to Port St. Lucie, and then of course our own delegation here in Martin County. But um, I believe wholeheartedly that we will come out on top on that water plant, and hopefully we'll get our money and we'll be able to start construction. We already are doing test wells. We are doing a well at our wastewater site for a deep injection well. That
Okay.
the process has started. The machinery is there, and I don't know how deep they are right now, but that thing's gonna go almost 3,000 feet
Wow. Wow.
into the
Okay.
ground. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So and there's the whole chemistry of that and why. And I could sit here and talk to you, and I don't know, just I probably know 10% of what needs to be known about that and it would take me 2 hours to tell you what I know. So you could imagine somebody knows 100% of that
Right.
system. Yeah, but it's happening. It's
It's a
happening. There's things going on all over the place here in Indiantown.
And Mayor, just to talk about that for 1 second, deep injection wells are used across the state of Florida. It's a normal process. So it might sound
Correct.
scary to some people, but this is a technology that is used
Right.
quite
Yeah, for
quite
like
readily.
just to make it simple so everybody can understand, let's say for 10 gallons of water produced, there's 1 gallon of waste. That waste needs to be put back into the ground as deep as it can go, so it can, yeah,
Goes through the cycle of the
the
of
cycle, go
right.
through the cycle.
It goes through the
Exactly.
cycle exactly.
Exactly.
So any other companies out there? I know there's a lot going on. You had mentioned
Oh, Grindhard is an awesome company, and the owner's an awesome guy, and they're doing an awesome job. They got their facility in on Willoughby Boulevard, which is their bullet manufacturing facility, and where they
bullet
put the
manufacturing.
put the bullets together. Yeah, right now they're
Okay.
doing 9 millimeter, 9 millimeters, 223 and 308s, I believe. Um, and they will be supplying the military, law enforcement, and the public. Out here in Indiantown, they have probably about 80% complete. Uh, Built a primer plant that makes the primers that goes into the bullet. So when the pin hits the primer, that's what propels.
Okay.
Okay. So yeah, they've worked hard to get that building up, and I mean it's thick. Those walls are thick in there. You know. So
Well, and this is
um,
exciting. It's the
oh yeah,
diversification that Indiantown needs. As you said, you do need to diversify. You have a different base. You're bringing jobs. You're bringing rooftops, homes for people to be able to live in and stay. So this is why it was incorporated, and it's exciting to hear all these.
yes.
And appreciate you sharing. What's the feedback from the village, the people, the residents?
Well, the residents have been promised a lot. Um, Everything is slow coming. And I'm one of the most impatient people out there. Okay. I mean, I'll admit that, I am impatient. You know, Being in the private sector for so many years with my gas station business up in the north and my helicopter company here and my hair salon here you know, and law enforcement, what I did was quick and reactionary,
Right, right,
A lot of it was proactive, but it's like happening right now.
right.
Government, I've had to learn that it doesn't work that way. It's slow. There's a lot of wheels that are turning, and everything has to mesh together.
Right.
So, s- But for the people of Indiantown, one of the big promises made was affordable housing. And I've been working on that since day one. And I thought I was there a couple of times.
Mm.
The problem is the land. Once the village incorporated and once things started happening, the value of the land is making it very, very hard to provide that house under $140,000.
Right,
That's
right,
what my goal was.
right.
Between 130 and $140,000. I had we had a special session on a Saturday where I brought uh, builders, investors, developers, uh, banks, credit counselors,
Mm.
the financial end of it and the building end of it. I brought them all together in Village Hall. And basically what I wanted to do was get them to hand out business cards to their counterparts and work on this project that I want to see happen.
Hmm.
Hopefully before I leave office.
Hmm.
I would like to see affordable housing. And I'm working really hard on it. Um, since that meeting, I have a friend of mine who I've known for many, many, many years. I used to fly him around when I had my helicopter company. I've known him for 30 years. He had developed a building system. And he's a big builder in Turkey. And he got his building system certified in the United States for all 50 states. And the company's called Renko.
Okay.
Okay. And they produce a block. It's like a Lego block. It's composite, termite free, mold free, got a hurricane rating of a category 5 or 6. So it's up there.
Everything. Hmm.
And the whole structure is composite. Tie beams, runners, everything is composite. They make it at the factory. Factory hasn't started yet. He's got a team in from Turkey right now, fine-tuning machines, from what I understand.
Okay.
Okay. And about 33% cheaper
Wow.
than concrete. You don't need skilled labor to put it together. And it keeps the job site clean.
Fantastic.
So I'm hoping to do something with that on the affordable housing section of our government out here. That something that I'm trying to facilitate. It's not something that we're going to do,
Right.
but if I can get private builder and a private customer together on an affordable house and get that customer ready to be able to purchase that house,
Right.
then I think we've fulfilled the promise, one of the promises that was made. And to me, that's one of the biggest ones.
It is, and it's an issue all over the country. But I
It
think
is.
it hits us hard here in South Florida because as you said, the land prices have absolutely skyrocketed, and it's just made everything really difficult for any affordability. So that's a fantastic and another new cutting edge technology. And here's Indiantown. Uh,
Yeah,
you
well,
know,
yeah. And I
bringing
sit
it
on the
in.
board with Port St. Lucie and on the Treasure Coast League of Cities. We're trying to answer the question of affordable housing.
Right.
So, everybody's aware of it and everybody's trying to do something. The problem is that the price of the land is so expensive that
Right.
that and I always said, we're 5 years behind, 6 years behind now, almost 7 years behind. Things that should have been done,
Right.
you know,
And
yeah.
7 years
So,
ago, everything's went up prices. What people were targeting 7 years ago and thought they could afford, you can't anymore by the time you get there. And
yeah, no,
it's a frustrating problem, and appreciate you trying to tackle that. I want to share a little good, happy news for the kids, the youth in Indiantown.
yes,
You had a special project of your own that involved Martin County Pal, and I will let you share that. And I'm going to share some photos of it as well. This is very exciting, and I know it's
talking
going
about
to
the
be huge.
boxing ring, right?
I am talking about the boxing ring, and I think you're going to have an open
Let
house
me
for
tell you
that.
how that whole thing came to be.
Okay.
I'll tell you how it came to be. Okay, so last Halloween, we had a trunk or treat event at Post Park. And so I went and walking around, and Noel from Pal and his people were there, and I was watching them, and I'm like, man, there's a lot of kids hanging around that truck. And he has a program where he came out here 2 nights a week to do a basically a boxing program out of that truck.
Wow.
So I got talking to him, and I says, you know what? Why don't we really do a real boxing ring in a real gym? He says, that'd be great. Well, where are we going to put it? I said, I got the perfect place for it. So I don't know if you know Debbie Rizos. She's our parks director.
Okay, I don't know Debbie.
Okay. She's a great person, great director. So I said, I'm going to give you, and I knew I was going to get heat for it, but I'm going to give you, I'm going to give you the bay in Booker Park for the Booker Park Fire Station. And that's going to be your gym. And I said, then we're going to need equipment. We're going to need money. So I reached out to Terralago, and, Scott Watson here at the marina, and Ricky Shelter from P&P Construction,
Hmm.
and the people from Palm Oaks, and they all gave me money to buy the equipment that we needed and to operate it also. So they're very generous.
Fantastic. Yes.
Yeah, that's the thing about Indiantown. It's the everybody that has come here. I'll tell you, we got great investors. We got great builders. We got a great village staff. I couldn't be happier where we're sitting right now. Even though we need a whole lot,
Right.
I think in the last 4 years, Indiantown has made a lot of progress.
It has made a lot of progress.
Yeah. So I told Noel, I said, okay, they're going to be calling you. They're going to be giving you money. And they did. And at first, I caught a little heat for it, for giving away Debbie's storage bay.
But look at the storage bay today.
But she's happier than any one of us that is in there. And it really turned out well. And we're going to dedicate it, I think, on the 15th of next
July.
month, on the 12th of next month.
Okay.
Yeah. Um, and I had brought Josh from Garcia
Hmm.
to the gym because he had never been there. And he was very impressed with it, and having a conversation with him. Mr. Garcia was a real boxing enthusiast.
Ah,
Yeah, yeah. So he's got pictures of Mr. Garcia, God rest his soul. I mean, the boxer, not Mike Tyson, but
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali.
Ah,
Okay.
all right.
So we're going to be hanging those pictures in the gym, and we're gonna dedicate the gym to Mr. Garcia.
That's fantastic. That's so
Yeah.
exciting. And for the youth of Indiantown, I've had Noelle on the show before and talked about Martin County Pal. And boxing is so popular with the kids and the girls too. This is something they all enjoy doing. So
It's unbelievable. He's got over 60 people, 60 kids registered in that program. And I go by there quite often. It's on Mondays and Wednesdays. So if I'm in town, and I'll take a swing through there to see what's going on. And I'll tell you what, that it's they've outgrown it already.
yeah, I imagine.
You know?
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, no,
And it's such a nice facility as folks can see here. And
yeah.
Mayor DiPaolo, it's exciting. And don't forget about Indiantown High School, the new high school out there. How fantastic is
Indiantown
that?
High School, the enrollment is up. They got a great program out there.